24 years ago today, on the 24th of March 1999, NATO attacked Yugoslavia. For 74 days, bombs rained down on this poor Balkan country. Central Belgrade and other cities were attacked. Electricity generating stations, railway lines, oil refineries, bridges on the Danube. Cluster bombs were used, cluster bombs which explode in mid-air, killing everyone underneath them, including on a marketplace in Niš. Columns of refugees were bombed. The television station in central Belgrade was deliberately attacked as a part of the war against disinformation. NATO brought to power in Kosovo, in the southern part of Serbia, a violent criminal gang masquerading as a liberation army, whose leader is himself now, 20 years later, on trial for war crimes. The NATO war against Yugoslavia was a war of aggression, an illegal war of aggression, a criminal war of aggression in the terms of the Nuremberg and Tokyo jurisprudence after the Second World War. And yet NATO repeated its act of aggression when it attacked Libya in 2011, in a regime change operation which brought to power Islamists in Libya and which plunged that country into a civil war which continues to this day. And of course we all remember that Britain and America, two of the leading members of NATO, attacked Iraq in 2003, plunging that country as well into civil war, a civil war which lasted a decade and killed hundreds of thousands of people. These are acts of aggression, criminal, illegal aggression. And so when today NATO and American officials say that NATO is a defensive alliance, they are simply lying. It's not a defensive alliance, it's an aggressive alliance. This is important in the context of the current war in Ukraine, and among all European political parties, Forum for Democracy is one of the few, if not the only one, that understands and talks about this historical context. Russia, of course, is pushing back, as we know, NATO having tried to make Ukraine into a battering ram against Russia since 2008. Russia invaded last year and the war continues. But unlike Libya, unlike Yugoslavia, and unlike Iraq, Russia is a nuclear power. Indeed, it is the most heavily armed nuclear power in the world. And that means that Russia cannot be defeated on the battlefield in the way that NATO imagines, however many Ukrainians are sacrificed for the goal of NATO expansionism. And that is why Forum for Democracy proposes the only way out, the only realistic way out of this conflict, which is de-escalation, negotiation, and peace.